My health at 34 got so bad that one day I realized I was completely out of options, and I ended up going after something I hadn't even thought about in 20 years. The pain came back worse than before, and I realized I wasn't ready to stop yet. I still hadn't talked to the local religious leader in my area, someone who might at least point me in the right direction, and at this point it feels like I have to keep going, even if I don't know where it's leading. After that, I decided to talk to the local religious leader in my area. I don't even know why it took me so long to think of it, but at that point, I was just moving down a list in my head of people who might know something. His office was small and kind of cramped, more like a shop than an office, and when I walked in, he was already talking to someone else. I stood there awkwardly until the other guy left, trying not to look impatient even though I was exhausted. When he finally looked at me, his expression was pretty neutral. I explained who I was and why I was there, and when I mentioned Zane, he reacted the same way almost everyone else had. He looked surprised, like he hadn't heard that name in a long time. He told me Zane was still alive, which honestly caught me off guard, but then immediately followed it by saying no one really knows where he stays anymore. According to him, Zane moves around a lot and doesn't have a fixed place, which made the whole situation feel even more frustrating. I asked him if he personally knew where to find him, and he shook his head. He said I might run into Zane by accident, or I might search for months and never see him at all. That wasn't exactly reassuring. He could tell how bad my situation was, though, because he asked a few questions about my health and didn't rush me out the door like some of the others had. He tried to be helpful in his own way. He actually sketched out a rough map of the area and started pointing out places where Zane might show up. He told me to check cafes, prayer rooms, places where people gather late at night, even spots where beggars usually hang around. He said Zane doesn't stand out and that if you weren't looking for him, you'd probably walk right past him. Hearing that honestly made me feel worse, because it sounded like I could easily miss him even if he was right in front of me. I left with that map and spent days walking around, asking people who looked like they'd been in the area a long time if they'd heard of Zane. Most people hadn't. Some smiled politely and shook their heads. A few older shop owners remembered him vaguely and talked about him like someone from their youth, but none of them knew where he was now. A couple of people laughed and told me I was chasing something that didn't exist anymore. I didn't even argue with them. I was too tired for that. Eventually, someone suggested I talk to an old calligrapher named Hassan, who supposedly used to be friends with Zane.